Chair recognizes Representative Sheets.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I make a motion to reconsider the vote by which Senate Bill 1101 was adopted.
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any objection?
There is objection.
Okay, there is objection.
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Anchia, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Do you yield, Mr. Sheets?
I yield.
Gentleman yields.
Representative Sheets, there was an amendment that went on that adversely impacts the ability to do inter-basin transfers that would hurt the DFW region. Is that not correct?
And other regions of the state as well, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Phillips, for what purpose?
Yes, the gentleman yield.
Do you yield, Mr. Sheets?
I yield.
Gentleman
An
yields.
amendment went on that would protect regions of the state outside the DFW area so that they will not lose land or have reservoirs built and flood their farmlands. Is that correct as well? It goes both ways.
I would disagree with that because the provisions in that amendment are onerous.
They're onerous. It's just a consent that the people where you're going to want to come in and put your shovels and rip out land and forestry and take land from farmers.
A two-thirds requirement.
And when little counties of 5,000 left can't afford to fight, that's what you're trying to do to make it harder for Region D, which is a region set up, and they say these are the reservoirs we want to build.
Well, I would disagree because what you're arguing, first of all, is that was the affirmative motion. So what you are trying to do is trying to make it overly onerous for us to obtain water, and you're trying to hold the urban areas hostage. That's what's actually happening, sir.
You want to keep it easy to take land away from the citizens of our counties. We already have one lake built in Delta County, and you want to build 2 more lakes?
No, what I'm trying to do is protect my region from an onerous requirement and an amendment that's being offered by Representative Simpson.
Isn't it true that Region C has in their plan 2 lakes in Delta County?
I'm unadvised.
Well, see, that's the problem. We are advised, Mr. Sheets, and don't you agree it's a problem that you don't know the impact you're having on the lives of our citizens?
Well, and that's why we're doing the motion to reconsider so that we can debate this.
And just so the population centers with all the money can come in and say, we don't care about you rural folks? Is that what you're doing?
I would say that this argument right now is irrelevant to the debate as to the motion, the appropriateness for the motion to reconsider,
irrelevant to take land from people, from communities that say, we don't want that lake there because we don't have any control over it? And it's going to be a mud hole most of the time. You ever been to Lake Cooper? You think that's been an enterprise for Delta County? No. I've got another county. You got 2 lakes you're building in. Do you understand the impact you're having on us and we have no say? Do you understand that?
I understand that your amendment or Mr. Simpson's amendment is putting onerous requirements on our ability to develop water for our region.
We got more questions. Just consent.
Members, you're only allowed 3 minutes on the motion to reconsider. Representative Guerin raises a point of order. The gentleman's time has expired. The point of order is well taken and sustained. Is there any member that would like to speak against the motion to Representative Simpson? Chair recognizes Representative Simpson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, this bill simply requires that if you want to plan in the regional water planning that we set up in this state, a project in someone else's district, it doesn't have to be East Texas, it could be a desalination plant on the coast, that if you're going to fund that with state money and you're going to put it in the regional water plan, that you obtain the consent of that regional water planning board. It's simple. It's just not even all of them. It's 2/3. So this is with their consent. We would be glad to do that under the right terms. We just don't want our land, our water taken by force. And that's what's happened under the last conflict. This would solve having another lawsuit where people come and take hundreds of thousands of acres of East Texas for Dallas-Fort Worth's water. But it could happen to you and your district if someone else wanted to build a groundwater project there. Mine simply says you can't build a project in someone else's district without their consent. It doesn't stop people from pursuing those projects, but if you're going to put it in the state regional water plan, you have to obtain the consent.
Madam Speaker,
For what purpose, Mr.
will the
Schaefer?
gentleman yield for some questions?
Gentleman yields. You have 1 minute and 45 seconds.
What's the point in having regional planning districts for water if those regions lose their ability to control their own destiny?
That's the very intent of my bill, is to restore and to maintain the purpose of the regional water planning groups, so that we could speak for our people in that district and not have someone else's district speak for us.
And wasn't that part of the original purpose of establishing these regional planning organizations?
That's right. And so if you don't have this, we're basically just nullifying the regional water planning groups, period.
We might as well just erase the lines on those regional water planning districts.
That's correct. So I urge the members to vote against this motion to reconsider this, because this is a good
Do you yield,
amendment
Mr. Simpson?
on the House bill, Senate Bill 1101.
45 seconds.
David, we balkanized our state into 16 regions, and we fight each other fiercely along these lines. This would continue to perpetuate
No, it does
that whole
not. It
situation.
does not prevent it. It just requires cooperation. It restores that.
Nobody in the state, and
planning.
especially the Commonwealth of East Texas, would never share their water.
No, we would.
So you want to build walls. We're all Texans.
That's right.
And
when
nobody
we come
holds
to
a
Dallas, Fort
resource
Worth
over
and don't
one
have
portion.
what you have, we come there voluntarily. We don't come and take it by force. This simply says if you want our water and our land and the mitigation property, that you just get our consent. You work with us. You don't just go to 3 people in Austin and tell us what to do.
You have a lot of private landowners that want to sell water in East Texas, and what you're trying to say is the regional
Representative
planning
Guerin raises a
districts
point
would
of order.
preclude
Gentleman's
them
time
from
has
consent.
expired. Members, Mr. Sheets has moved to reconsider the vote on SB 1101. This is a record vote. Vote aye, vote nay. On the motion to reconsider, the clerk will ring the bell. Show Representative Sheets voting aye, Larson voting aye, Galindo voting aye, Simpson voting no, Bernal voting aye, Phillips voting no, Doc Anderson voting no. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? There being 87 ayes, 42 nays, the motion to reconsider passes.